You think Alcatraz was America's toughest prison? Think again. There's a place far darker where escape is a fantasy and freedom is forgotten. Deep in the Colorado desert lies ADX Florence, a fortress the New York Times called a clean version of hell in 1998. No one has ever broken out since it opened in 1994. But what's the real cost of that security? If you're curious about what lies behind those walls, stick around and hit that like button to join us. In the next 10 minutes, we'll uncover the cells, the mines, and the secrets that make ADX Florence the most feared prison on Earth. Want to know what they're hiding? Subscribe now and let's dive into the shadows together. Imagine a fortress carved into the Colorado desert, surrounded by barren peaks and an oppressive silence. ADX Florence, part of the Federal Correctional Complex in Fremont County, lies 115 miles south of Denver, a 49-acre stronghold of concrete and steel built in 1994 for $60 million. It was born from tragedy, the 1983 USP Marion riots, where 2 guards were stabbed to death in a single day, exposed the need for a prison where violence and human contact could be eliminated, per the Washington Post. Housing 388 male inmates as of 2025, ADX confines the nation's most dangerous, 95% with histories of violence, from killing guards to leading cartels. This isn't just a prison, it's a machine designed to erase identity. What's it like to exist in a place that suffocates the human spirit? Let's walk through its walls. Each cell is a 7 by 12-foot concrete tomb, smaller than a parking space. The bed, desk, and chair are solid concrete, bolted down. A stainless steel toilet and sink sit in one corner, cold and unyielding. A 4-inch window offers only a sliver of sky. Never a tree, never the horizon, per NPR in 2012. Inmates endure 23 hours a day in this isolation, meals slid through a slot in a soundproof steel door. Their 1 hour of freedom? A solitary stint in the pit. A caged concrete yard with a domed roof, as lifeless as their cells. Former inmate Travis Dusenberry, who spent a decade here, told CNN, "It's like the world closes behind you. No grass, no life, just walls." The American Journal of Psychiatry links this isolation to SHU syndrome, causing paranoia, hallucinations, and suicidal urges. For some, like Tommy Silverstein, who endured 36 years in solitary, it's a slow peeling of the skin. Silence here isn't just absence, it's a weapon, but the prison's control runs even deeper. ADX doesn't rely on human guards alone. The facility itself is a sentinel. 12 gun towers, 1,400 remotely operated steel doors, motion sensors, pressure pads, laser systems, and guard dogs ensure no movement goes unseen, per Corrections 1. Razor wire fences, 12 feet high, encircle the complex, backed by microwave detection systems. Guards, rigorously vetted, rarely interact face-to-face. Automation handles everything from meals to lockdowns. In 31 years, no one has escaped, not even Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, who once tunneled a mile to freedom in Mexico. Former Warden Robert Hood told CNN, "When inmates arrive, they see the Rockies' beauty one last time, then it's gone forever." It's a high-tech vault where hope is extinguished. But what happens to the men locked inside? Legends vanish in these cells. El Chapo, sentenced to life in 2019 for smuggling 220 tons of drugs, is silenced here, his cunning useless. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, lived in solitude until his 2023 suicide, his brilliance lost to despair. Robert Hansen, the FBI agent who spied for Russia from 1979 to 2001, died alone in his cell in 2023. Terry Nichols, tied to the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing that killed 168, and Ramzi Youssef, mastermind of the 1993 World Trade Center attack, fade into obscurity. Zacharias Moussaoui, linked to 9/11, called his cell a psychological torture chamber in a 2015 filing. Even Eric Rudolph, the Atlanta Olympics bomber, wrote in 2006 that ADX's conditions aim to inflict mental suffering and chronic illness. These men shook nations, yet ADX reduces them to shadows. If it can break such figures, what does it do to the rest? The true torment isn't the concrete, it's the mental collapse. Prolonged solitary confinement triggers psychosis, with inmates reporting voices in their heads or shadows that move. John Jack Powers, a bank robber with no prior mental illness, developed PTSD after witnessing a prison murder. At ADX, he bit off his finger and mutilated himself, driven mad by isolation. Over 900 hunger strikes, mostly by foreign terrorists, protested these conditions in 2007, with many force-fed. The 2012 Cunningham versus BOP lawsuit exposed systemic neglect, with inmates like Michael Bacote, who had an IQ of 61 and paranoia, denied treatment. The case forced reforms, mental health screenings, medication access in the control unit, and transfers for over 100 inmates, but progress is slow. The step-down program, meant to reintegrate inmates, often stalls, leaving some in solitary for decades. Is this punishment or cruelty? The controversy over ADX burns hotter than its cells. Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch call its prolonged solitary confinement cruel, inhuman, and degrading, violating international law. A 2015 HRW report noted inmates endure an average of 8.2 years in isolation, some for over 20 years, with no clear release criteria. In 2012, Jose Martin Vega's family sued after his suicide, alleging untreated mental illness, per a Colorado court filing. In April 2025, 21 federal death row inmates, whose sentences were commuted by President Biden, sued the Trump administration, claiming their transfer to ADX's H unit, reserved for high-profile terrorists, was an unconstitutional extra punishment. The lawsuit argues the Bureau of Prisons ignored protocols, placing inmates with severe mental or medical needs in conditions that worsen their suffering. David Fathi of the ACLU called it state-sanctioned torture. Yet supporters, including former BOP officials, argue ADX is essential for containing threats like Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, the Boston Marathon bomber, or Richard Reed, the shoe bomber. Where does justice end and inhumanity begin? Let's step back for a final reflection. Alcatraz was once the symbol of confinement, but ADX Florence is a different beast, a place where silence is weaponized, where concrete and technology erase identity. Housing 388 inmates across 6 security levels, from the control unit to the ultra-restrictive range 13 for the most dangerous, it's a labyrinth of control. The New York Times called it a clean version of hell for its sterile, unrelenting design. It keeps society safe, holding men like Michael Swango, a doctor who killed dozens, and Larry Hoover, a gang leader with 6 life sentences. But when justice means locking someone away for 23 hours a day, sometimes for decades with only a sliver of sky to see, what does it cost us? Are we protecting the world or creating a system that dehumanizes everyone it touches? ADX isn't just a prison, it's a question about the limits of punishment. If this journey into ADX Florence reshaped how you see justice, and if you feel that pull to keep searching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a step in our journey to uncover what still hides on this earth. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.